1 on a Friday morning. Rise and shine, rise and shine. Good morning to you. This is Coffee Talk. I'm WESH 2 first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful start to the day. Take a look at our tower cam network, as a matter of fact. Downtown Orlando, top left, upper 70s. Ocala. Hey, y'all, that's looking beautiful. 78. Kennedy Space Center, 82 degrees, a little warmer in Brevard. And here in Volusia, New Smyrna Beach, look at that. A little bit of that sea spray. Otherwise, it is a very, very pretty start. First warning, live Doppler radar checking in. Happy to report we have nothing going on across central Florida. We do have some rain over on the Gulf Coast, even a little thunderstorm complex there off the coast of Pinellas. It's just kind of cruising on by, not too much of a bother. And with temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s, it's going to be a lovely day. Now, forecast for us today will continue to look just gorgeous. 86 by 11 o'clock, 92 degrees our high temperature, and we're going with a 50-50 shot of seeing showers and thunder showers. So it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. No doubt about it. And as a matter of fact, this trend is going to continue for us all the way through to the weekend. Let's take a look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. Just kind of get an idea of things. All right. So we've got gorgeous weather today, then the storms get fired up, right? Tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to keep those storms elevated. Notice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the rain chances start to come down, the air temperatures start to climb. Reason? We've got ourselves Saharan dust, that drier ribbon of air that sometimes tropically does its thing. That's going to be moving our direction. And as it does, it will help to subdue the rain coverage and help to bring up those temperatures. It's going to be blasted hot. Look at that. 95 degrees on Wednesday, 95 degrees on Thursday. So we're going to talk about the weather. And then in about 7-8 minutes or so, Alan Campbell's going to be joining us. He's going to be our new sunrise anchor on WESH 2. So we're going to meet him, chat with him, just kind of see what's his story before he jumps on the air with our sunrise team starting on Monday morning. So um, it's a coffee talk drive-through of sorts. But before we get into all of that, let's just make sure we are covered in the weather, all right? So first things first, let's dial up Futurecast for today. And let's see how this plays out. All right. So starting off nice and quiet through about 12, 1 o'clock. Now, I'll be on WESH 2 News at noon today, so I'll be tracking all of this stuff. There's the rains developing around 2, 3 o'clock. Into the metro, 3, 4 o'clock. And then 5, 6, 7 looks like a bit of a sea breeze collision in our western area. So if you live out west, that's one of the things you may have to deal with. Let's take it. Oh, look at that. Kind of a resurgence. I don't know that that'll play out. It'll be interesting around midnight. But anyway, I digress. All right, let's look at our Saturday. Same idea. We'll start, of course, I went too far. Saturday morning, 8, 9, 10. Notice around lunchtime, we get those sea breezes going, showers and thunder showers. And then on Sunday, another opportunity for storms kind of firing on up. So there's that 50-50 shot. If you've got weekend plans, the good news is it's not like one day is looking intensely better than the other. We've got those afternoon shower and thunderstorm chances for both. It's a 50-50 shot of seeing the stormy weather, all right? So planning for that, it's kind of coastal community, East Coast, around lunchtime, and then by about, you know, 2, 3, 4 o'clock or so, it crosses through the metro and then kind of continues on in. All right. So that's kind of our weekend forecast. Questions about anything so far? Questions, comments, concerns about anything so far? Anything at all? I got you. We can discuss it, right? We can discuss everything that there is. Where do babies come from, Scott? Yeah, we're not discussing that. Scott, the director. Gotta love him. All right. Questions, comments, concerns about our local forecast. Nautilus is talking about the Google stuff. Yeah, we'll chat about that. We'll chat about that. May not get to it today, but we'll chat about that. Questions, comments, concerns? All right. All right. We got about 5 more minutes before we start talking to Alan. So out to the tropics real fast. New wave coming off the coast of Africa. Doesn't look like anything's wanting to try and develop there. No development expected over the next 7 days' time. When we look at the broader scope of things, there is a lot of Saharan dust. So, yeah, that Saharan dust is continuing to cross the Atlantic basin. And of course, as it does that, it continues to keep things dry. Some of that dust will be moving our direction. So, especially looking ahead to next week, and I showed this to you on the 7-day forecast already. I'll dial that back up. But you can see the rain chances next week definitely on their way down. All right. All right. Let's take a look at the raw computer forecast model data here. See what's doing. All right. We'll start here. GFS, high pressure in control. Watching a little CAG, you can see southern Gulf Bay of Campeche. Drink. Nothing significant, but around the 20th. Okay. There's another something around the 28th. GFS doing GFS things. We'll have to look and see if the Euro's picking up on it. Okay, that's the current GFS. Let's switch over to the European. A little something around the very end, around the 19th. Nothing significant. Yeah, and toward the end of the forecast model, the European not showing anything. All right, let's look at the ensemble plots. I know we're speeding through it today because we've got Alan coming in a couple of minutes. I just want to make sure we look at everything. Some ensemble support on the GFS. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So roughly a third of the ensemble members trying to show something around South Texas, right along the Texas-Mexico border there around the 20th, 21st. Nothing significant, but there's hints. All right, let's look at the European ensemble. Roll through time. Some ensemble support, nothing significant. Yeah, so only a couple of the European ensembles showing that. So not really a big deal there. But yes, a couple of people were chatting about this. Let me pull up the link here. So this is the link. I'm going to get it dialed over here. Give me 2 seconds. All right, so this is the link. Let me resize this. So this is the new, I need to sign in. Eigevalt, I'm not doing that. It was working on my computer a second ago. Anyway, essentially, it's using AI and doing all of that fun stuff to kind of go over computer model data. It's going to be something to watch. I'll get signed in so that way it's taken care of. But it'll definitely be something interesting to look at come this hurricane season to see how AI handles it. But you know, a lot of people over the years have asked the question like, is AI working into computer forecasting when it comes to the tropics and otherwise? And the short answer is it's starting to get there, right? It's not a significant player. We're still using the more calculus based, the more math number based modeling, but it's starting. So little by little, we're seeing AI play in, and I will share all of that data on Coffee Talk this year. But yeah, Google came out with that yesterday, so kind of an interesting thing. So that's always good. Amy's asking, will Father's Day be a wash? It's not that it's going to be a wash. It's just we're going to keep that decent chance of showers and thunder showers, right? 50-50. Remember, it's summer. We're a couple of days from the official start of summer. But we're in that summer pattern. And the only reason those rain chances are coming on down is because Saharan dust is sliding in. So 50-50 is what you're going to have for months, with some subtle exceptions. All right. All right. Let me introduce you, my friends, to the newest member of the WESH 2 anchor team. We've got Mr. Alan Campbell here.
Hey, good morning.
First off, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining Coffee Talk.
Bill, I thought, yeah, I heard this was Coffee Talk. It was going on. You said come in around 10 after
Yep.
8.
You are on
10
time.
after 8, and I brought my coffee.
All right. So, a couple questions. First off, how
Yeah.
do you take your coffee? Let's just start there.
Black.
Really?
Yeah.
A real man.
Yeah, I just started doing that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It used to be what we say in Canada, because I'm originally from
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Double.
Okay.
2 cream, 2 sugar.
Oh, that's funny.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I got rid of the second double.
Yeah.
So I just went to 2 creams.
Yeah.
No sugar.
Okay.
Then a single cream.
Oh.
Now I'm black.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Is your soul the same way? I feel like in TV news that gets him. You seem really polite.
for the most part.
You seem
Oh,
very.
thank
You
you.
do. I've only known you a couple days. All right. So tell everybody your
Yeah.
story. Let's learn and about who you are.
Yeah, well, hey, first of all, good morning, everyone. And Eric, thank you so much for allowing me to come on Coffee Talk. Originally from Toronto, Canada, born
Okay.
and raised. I worked on cruise ships after I completed high school for 6 years, maybe six and a half.
What'd you do?
So plenty of things. So I
Okay.
worked in the gift shops. I worked as a cruise staff. Then I was a port and shopping guide, and then I was not cruise director, but sports director. So I
Okay.
was kind of in charge of all the rock climbing walls. I worked for Royal
Yeah,
Caribbean.
yeah, yeah.
And then after that, I said, you know what? I think I need to get a real job.
How fun.
Right. So then I became a journalist.
Okay, good. Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's
So,
a job.
yeah, started in Charleston, South Carolina, went to Texas, went to Detroit for 4 years. Most recently was 4 years in Fort Myers as morning anchor there. And now I've got the honor to be here
Yeah.
in Orlando.
Okay, so a couple things. First off, what do you think about Orlando? Your first thoughts?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
I've always loved Orlando. You know, that's the place you go to if you live in the Midwest, up
Right.
north, anywhere where there's snow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
January comes by and you're like,
Gotta go.
gotta go down to
Yeah.
Florida, gotta go to Orlando.
Yep.
So I love it. And there's so many incredible things to do
Yeah.
here. And what I love, I'm a big foodie.
Okay.
All the incredible
Yeah,
restaurants and
yeah.
so many different choices.
So Sand Lake Road is gonna be your spot.
It's gonna be my spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can just walk up and down there, breakfast, lunch, and
Right, right,
dinner.
right.
Yeah.
Get it all out. Okay, so I have to ask just because I'm a nerd. What ships were you on when you did Royal Caribbean?
Okay, so Royal Caribbean, I was on Brilliance of the
Yep.
Seas, Voyager of the
Yeah.
Seas, Explorer of the Seas. That's actually where I met my wife.
Oh
She was on
my gosh.
Explorer of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Seas, and
yeah.
she was
Okay.
the lead singer in the shows.
Wow.
And yeah, she's come along with me on this incredible journey.
Yeah.
And she's actually back in Fort Myers right now,
Yep.
kind of tying up some loose ends
Sure,
with our
sure, sure.
renter because
Yeah.
we have a house there. And then she'll be here in a couple of weeks. But we just can't wait to hit the ground running. Of course, go to all the amazing parks
Yeah.
and Epic.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's epic.
I can't wait.
You got here like right as our epic coverage was
Yes.
winding down, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could have come a little bit earlier, but I
Yeah.
get it. I know it's probably packed there right
Oh
now. I've got this kind of like weird theory that maybe there's so many people going to Epic, Universal, and
uh-huh.
everything else
Yeah, yeah.
might not be as busy.
I get it.
Do you
I think you're
think?
probably right. At the very least, you're probably right.
Might be
Maybe
onto something.
maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. So everybody's chatting, and so this is the feed.
Okay.
So it's from all of the different platforms. So people are asking. Okay. So Mickey's asking any go-to spots you would recommend for a cruise
For
port.
cruise port. Okay, so obviously Nassau, the Bahamas is great, Cozumel, Mexico, but if you'd like to go to the Mediterranean, you have to go to Italy. You know, you've
Oh
got to do that.
yeah.
Greece.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many different spots
Yeah.
over there. Now, one thing about the Mediterranean, it's a 2 week cruise,
Right.
right? And
Right.
there's only a certain amount of sea days in between.
Yeah.
So many times after the 2 week cruise was over,
Yeah.
people would say, Alan, I need to take
I
another
need a
vacation.
vacation. It's too much. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so you had mentioned, so you're from Kent. Did you learn to drink coffee in Kent? The only reason I ask, I got turned on to coffee via Tim Hortons.
Really?
I had to ask, so I have to ask if we
Yes.
have that in common.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. You
okay.
know who Tim Horton was,
I
right?
don't.
So he was a hockey player, played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And
Is it true?
this is a true story. So back in the day, hockey players weren't paid that much.
Okay.
You know, maybe between 20, 25, $27,000 a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So he thought, I need to do something else in order to make an extra income. He came out with Tim Hortons,
Gosh,
coffee, cookies,
no
donuts.
way.
Look at it now.
No way.
Yeah, yeah,
I-
pretty incredible, right?
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Debbie's asking, so does Alan have any kids, pets? What's your deal?
So no kids. Had a dog. She just passed recently. She's a French bulldog, but we had her for 11 amazing years.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll get another dog.
Yeah.
But it does take a little bit of time. But now I just wear like this little bracelet, and it
Oh, I love it.
says, her name's Sunny, and a paw. And on the inside it says, "Once in my heart, always," or "Once by my side, always in my
I
heart."
love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a dog. Okay.
Big dog.
We can be friends.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. If I ever get a Dad says Nassau's great.
Yeah.
Sorry, our tastes differ. If I ever get off a ship in Nassau again, I'll be due to an evacuation. Oh man, that's
Yeah.
funny. All right, so talk to us about when we're going to be able to watch you on TV.
All right, so I'm starting Monday morning. So I'm joining the WESH 2 News Sunrise team with Meredith McDonough, Kellyanne Klass, and Megan
Mackey, yep.
Megan Mackey.
You got
And
Moriarty. Yeah,
I know I'm getting them all, like there's so many names I'm trying to remember.
Overload.
Yes.
Yeah.
So starting Monday morning at 4:30 until 7 o'clock. And then I'll be doing the noon with Nancy Alvarez. That will go from noon to 12:30. So next week, and then the week after that, there's going to be a lot
Yep.
of me on air. So you're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of me.
Yep.
But I love the morning show. It's such a great opportunity to really get people in a good mood,
Yes.
and especially if they wake up on the wrong side of the bed, like
100%.
we do every once in a while.
100%.
I hope that I can help you maybe put a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's so I started Coffee Talk to just kind of look at computer models together, right?
Right.
And as it has evolved over the years, it has become so much more than that.
Right.
Um you really get that feel for waking people up.
Mm.
And when I'm having a bad day, they help me. When they have a bad day, hopefully I can help them. So
Yeah.
I love morning TV and morning broadcasters
Yes.
for that very reason.
Yeah,
So
and the thing is too, which is great about it, people can, maybe have a bad day at work, but
yeah,
then think, "Oh, remember what Alan did today
right.
out at on the
Yeah, yeah.
morning show?
Yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah,
hilarious." And
yeah.
then they start smiling
Right.
again, and if I can maybe touch somebody just a little bit that way,
A little bit.
put a little happiness in
Yeah,
your day,
yeah.
that's a great thing.
All right, so Kelly asks,
Yeah.
as a Canadian, I
Okay.
need his hot take on Sidney Crosby because go Pens. I don't know anything about what I just said
All
though.
right, Sidney Crosby, probably one of the best hockey players of this era. I think Sidney Crosby is a fantastic hockey
Yep.
player, plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Okay.
has basically been the face of Canadian hockey for years now. I think he might retire a Pen, but
Okay.
I'm not sure
Yeah, yeah.
because I've read his bio, and
Yeah.
according to that, his favorite team growing up as a child was the Montreal Canadiens.
Sure.
So do you want to go play for your favorite team eventually? Who
I feel
knows?
I mean, all I wanted in my career
Yeah,
was to get here to Central Florida.
yeah,
So like for me, if as long as the gods all work together, this is
yeah,
where I want to retire, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like,
We all do. We
yeah,
all want to retire here.
right. Well, yeah, yeah. All right. So DA on YouTube says watching from Port Charlotte.
Yeah.
Wondered what happened to you in Fort Myers, NBC. Congratulations on your new gig.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, well, thank you for watching me there in Fort Myers, and I know it's funny because some people have reached out. Remember the story you told
Yeah,
me
yeah,
this
yeah,
morning, right?
yeah.
Like some people have followed me. They've watched me in Detroit. They've
Right.
watched me in Fort
Yeah,
Myers, and
yeah.
now some people have moved here to
Right,
Orlando, and they're
right,
like, "We
right.
watch you here now too."
So I have to tell you a story too. Okay, so on Friday there was a wedding. A former intern of mine here at WESH,
Yeah,
who's now a meteorologist at the Fox station in Fort Myers. Okay, so he got married.
yeah,
Andrew Shipley
yeah.
is what he goes by on the air. So he got married. So flew down there on Friday.
Right.
And where did I go right after? So I landed at Page Field. Where did I go right after? But
This is
to
it.
NBC2.
That's
It's
the
our
only one.
it's our sister station,
Yep.
okay? So I've done the graphics. I've worked with the weather team down there for a while. The very first thing that your old boss said to
Oh.
me was, "You want to anchor morning news down here?" Because my boss here has opened up the pipeline, so to speak, a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
with Alan and
That's funny though. I'm not surprised though that my old boss offered you the job.
I don't know that it was a genuine offer, but it was enough that it gave a good it
But
gave
we're
a good
throwing
laugh.
it out there.
Hey, listen, I'm at my hometown team, so
Yeah,
so thank you. You're great. I'm going to
yeah.
stay with Stephanie here in Orlando. So, all right. So Mickey's asking. I would imagine this is a pretty easy one. So, Alan, how familiar are you with hurricanes,
Oh,
given the last few years, right?
yeah. So this is a wild story.
Yeah.
So my wife and I, we leave Detroit after 4 years
Mhm.
because, the winters. We're like, I'm over the winters.
Yeah.
We always wanted to be in Florida.
Right.
Great opportunity happened in Fort Myers. Literally 3, 4 months after we get there, Hurricane Ian hits. So that was
Wow.
my first taste of hurricane
Yeah.
season. And as you know, that was devastating.
How did I mean, I understand like how Wink and the CBS station fared down there, but how did you guys fare Waterman at the time?
Thankfully, the building that we're in
Yeah,
can handle a Cat 5
right.
hurricane. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we had to put up boards and stuff like
Sure,
that
yeah.
because, the windows were shaking, but we were able to still be on
Right.
air to make sure that we got all the important information out to our viewers, which is what you want to do when you're in something like that.
Right.
But we stayed on air, I want to say, for more than 3 days,
Yeah, yeah.
wall to wall coverage, just making sure, we can get the important information out to people.
Right.
Then we eventually sent crews out there to
Yeah.
see the
Right,
devastation,
right, right.
which was incredible to see, and just the story of survival and
Yeah.
so many things you learn
Right.
about hurricane kits. I know we're in hurricane season right
Yeah,
now, but
right.
one thing that I learned, have a life jacket in your hurricane kit because you never know.
If
Like,
you're at the coast, yeah.
yeah,
Thankfully here inland, right? Like,
don't have to deal.
well, but the Orlando market is so unique
Mhm.
because we cover from the beaches inland so significantly.
Yeah,
So we have this diversity of we've got coastal residents and we've got people that will never see storm surge, right?
right.
And so in covering it, you've got to deal with that very big
Yeah.
difference. Whereas in Fort Myers, you know, you head inland of 41 or 75, and there's not a ton of people that are there.
Right.
So you're so geared. That was the way it was for me when I was in Palm Beach. It was like it was so geared toward coast.
Yeah.
Here, you know, it's like in Ocala. They're just like, hey, you know, it's totally different than Orlando.
You're
So
right.
it's
Right.
so different. Yeah. Um, he better retire Penguin, is what Millie says. So funny. I love
Oh,
how everybody always comes back around to it, you know?
yeah.
All right, so Chris is asking
Mhm.
most unusual news report.
Ooh, let's see. So, funny enough, in Florida,
Of
you
course,
know the
Florida
Florida man.
man. Yeah.
And so there was a truck, and I guess a couple kids were moving a toilet to another spot. They didn't have any tie downs, so
Oh
it
God.
was one of the kids sitting in the back, but sitting on the toilet on his
No,
phone.
no, no,
Yes.
no.
So of course, Florida Highway Patrol got wind of what was going on, pulled them over. You can't
No.
do
You
that.
can't make this up.
Yeah, I mean, and that was my first, hey, welcome to Florida. Hurricane Ian, and then a kid sitting on a toilet in the back of a truck, moving it from one side to another.
You literally
You
can't make
don't. I
this
mean,
up.
yeah. I told all my friends back home, they didn't even believe me. I had to show them the report.
You know what's funny is I feel like until you dial into the Florida man
Yeah.
idea, you have no idea. It was like, you know, any given day, there are stories like that.
Oh, yeah.
Any given day.
Yeah. That's what makes it so fun sometimes, right? Like you can go
Yeah.
through an entire 30 minutes of a newscast and it'd be all very serious. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, we got a Florida man story. And people are like, oh, here we go. What's going on now? You know?
Is there like a Michigan man story or a South Carolina like is what is the thing elsewhere? Because I've only, truth be told, my entire TV career has been Florida. So
Okay.
I only know Florida man.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, you get some strange things for sure.
right.
There was a story I think we had yesterday, maybe the day before, on WESH at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maybe it was in the morning. I can't remember right now. But there was a fish that ended up on top of an ambulance, and the ambulance. This was in Tennessee.
Okay.
Okay, so and then the ambulance attendants like got out and they were like, "What is that?" And they looked and it was a fish, and then they just thought maybe it was picked up by a hawk or
Right,
eagle or
right,
something,
right.
and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
dropped on top. But I mean, you get certain things like that every once in a
That's
while.
but Florida, it's like, oh, there's an alligator
Yeah,
in our patio.
there's someone
You know,
on the
right.
interstate trying to wrestle an alligator. What is going on?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what questions do you all have for Alan, the newbie? We've got to put him through his paces here,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We've got to teach him the things. Let's see. What questions do you have for them as well?
Well,
This is a brain trust here.
this really is. And this is so cool that you do this, that we can communicate with the
Isn't it? I
viewers.
love
I love
breaking
this.
down that wall.
Yeah.
And so during hurricane season, it
Yeah.
gets this little feed is like
Oh, I
because
can imagine.
there's tens of thousands of people in there.
Yeah.
At least right now we've got less than 1,000.
Right. And
So
and that's one thing that I realized when I moved down here
yeah,
is you have to listen to your local meteorologist.
yeah,
They're the ones that know what is
yeah,
going on. You've got all the data.
right.
You're gonna get people who are on social media who are like, "Oh, this is coming our way," get prepared to get
Ugh.
scared. You always have to listen to Central Florida's certified most accurate forecast with first warning meteorologist Eric Burris.
Dude,
Did I get
you
that?
got
Did
that.
I nail
You
it?
nailed it.
All right.
He's been here like a day and a half and he's got it. I'm gonna just try to hold the standard that Dunning has set. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like you guys are used to this.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping to. All
Yeah.
right. So Janice is asking, did you ever want to be a cruise director?
I did
I
actually.
feel like I want to be a
I
cruise
mean,
director.
everybody does. When you go on a cruise and you see a guy on stage all the time having a good time, getting the crowd, hyped up and excited.
Yeah.
Of course, you always
I
think about doing
I
that.
don't know that you ever worked with him because he's been with Royal for 1,000 years. But I'm good friends with Mark Walker. You know Mark?
I'm good friends with Mark Wasser too.
Shut
We
up.
worked together.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked the ships.
Yeah,
And when you
yes.
said a couple of the ships, I know he was
I
on.
think I think
Okay.
Mark and I we worked on the Monarch of the Seas together out of Los Angeles. Yes, this was back in the day.
So I mean, he's on Utopia right now.
Yeah.
So are you
I haven't talked to Mark probably in years,
well, we can fix that.
but yeah, I know Mark. I work for him. He's a great guy. Yeah, he's a great cruise director.
And this is how the world works. Bing bong.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's
my
him.
God.
That's him.
Okay, so all right, so a couple of people are saying do not hype. So we don't. I
Okay.
know that the staff that you just left
Yeah.
was the same exact way.
Right.
So Coffee Talk, when we dial into hurricane season, our whole
Mhm.
thing is we're going to share all the data, we're going to put it into perspective, right?
Right.
And I will admit I'm an oversharer. Like the scary crap that's out on the models,
Right.
I'm going to share it not on social media for clickbait, but like on here,
Yeah.
we're gonna go over it. That way, if people see it,
Yeah.
they understand how the computer model is, you know.
And that's important because there's so many different
Yeah.
models that you're
Right.
looking at and
Yeah.
graphics that sometimes I look at it and I'm thinking, what am I looking at? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
can like just explain it in layman terms,
Right.
people can understand.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier.
Janice says, "Welcome to Central Florida. You're gonna rock it here."
Thank you, Janice. Oh, one person. How do you spell your name?
Yeah.
A-double-L-E-N or A-L-A-M? So good question. I haven't earned my second L yet.
Okay.
So it's
You're
just,
working on it.
yeah, I'm working on it.
That
So it's
British
just,
charm.
it's still just A-L-A-N right now.
Jane says, "Is it 5 degrees of it's right. I mean, it's less. It's 2 at this point, or 3
Yeah.
degrees of separation." How funny, boy. Mark's a good dude. I
We have
love
to, I
that.
have to get his contact information.
I got you.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
do it right after coffee time.
Yeah.
Honestly, wait, if Utopia's in, wouldn't that be fun? I'm just gonna text him. Let's see here.
And just see if he's there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting every one of you when I'm out on the town. Live here in Winter Park right now,
Yep.
so usually just hanging around the Winter Park area.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll go check out other small towns in the area because there's so many
Oh my
incredible
gosh.
places.
Mount Dora.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go there. Downtown DeLand. You
Yeah.
have to Sanford.
Yeah,
Sanford.
we've been to Lake Mary.
You've done the Lake Mary
Okay,
thing.
we want to go to Winter Garden.
Oh, Winter Garden.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
Winter Garden.
Crooked Can. Are you a beer drinker?
Yes, I'm Canadian.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, so Crooked Can.
Yeah.
Over in Winter Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Chef's kiss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Eric got into meteorology to learn more about his childhood fears. What got you into your job? That's a good question, Cheryl.
Wow. So this is
That's
this is
deep.
this is a crazy question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, my answer, I should say, I was working on a cruise ship. I was in Barcelona.
Okay.
I met a passenger who came on by the name of Jack Armstrong. He's a basketball analyst
Yeah.
for TSN, which is the equivalent of ESPN in
Okay.
Canada. So we started talking about sports, and he said, "Wow, you know a lot about sports. You got a great voice and a good look.
Yeah.
Why don't you become a sportscaster?" Okay.
Sure.
I said, "Sure, why not?" I applied to school, got accepted, told my parents, "Hey, listen, I'm going into sports. I'm going to be a sportscaster." They were like, "You've got to be kidding." They
No
thought
way,
it was
right.
like a dream or a nightmare. Like, what is going on?
How funny.
And so then I ended up going to school, and after my first year, I said, "You know what? I want to get into news."
Yep.
Because in news and sports, very similar, but in news, not everyone can tell the exact same story.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can always tell it a different way. Sports, it's everyone knows everything about
Right,
sports,
right, right.
but news, it hit more personal for me.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. Just met a random stranger,
Just on a cruise ship.
just on a cruise ship,
And it went from there.
and went from there, and everything's been great.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love that. What's one thing that people can watch you and never know, but you're gonna share now? What's like that one little quirk, that one weird thing?
I'm gonna share it right now.
Please.
I think I could. I think I'm a singer.
Art.
Sometimes I like to bring out like a good 80s
Oh.
ballad. I'm an 80s guy, big time.
Yeah.
I'm like a Duran Duran,
Oh.
Tears for Fears.
Yes.
I mean, I love the 80s. My wife and I, whenever we clean up our house, it's like crank the 80s.
Yes.
Let's go. Next
Oh.
thing you know, like 4 hours pass and the house is immaculate.
A, can I borrow the both of you? B,
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of fun doing the morning show.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, as I said earlier, I love doing the mornings. I've done the evenings. I did that in Detroit,
Yep.
and it's just a different beast and a different animal.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the mornings, you can have a little bit more
I
fun
think
with it.
so.
You know what I
think
mean?
so.
And you can interact with your team, and people back and forth Myers, they would always like text me, send me messages, and
Yeah.
sometimes what I would do, I would throw out that person's name in the
Mhm.
show. Just be like, yeah, it's somehow incorporate it
Right,
somehow.
absolutely.
So it was pretty cool. It was like, hey, I'm speaking to you like
Right.
on TV, not just through social media.
So when I'm doing in the 8 o'clock hour, I'll do coffee talk while on TV. So I'll
Yeah.
literally walk over to the anchor desk with my laptop. And
Really?
it's like Inception stuff. And then I'll walk with the laptop over to the chroma key.
Yeah.
And I'll look, and I'll talk to everybody like on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same idea. Just,
Yeah.
break down
It's great.
that wall.
Yeah.
Amy's asking, do you fly an airplane?
Do I? I don't. No.
I'm gonna take him.
Yeah. But yesterday when Eric and I were talking, you were like, yeah, I just had to change an oil filter.
We had to change the oil. And yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And then you told me you had a plane and you were a pilot, and I was like, wow, because I wanted to be a pilot at one point in my life.
Oh,
too.
we didn't say this yesterday.
Yeah,
We didn't say
no,
this
no.
yesterday.
I thought it would be so cool because I always, when you're young and you
Mhm.
get to go into the cockpit and you meet the pilot and they got like that cool little headpiece on. I I was like, I want to be that guy. I want to do like have that little headpiece. I worked at a couple fast food places and they
Okay.
said, "What are you good at?" And I said, "I think I'd be good at the drive-through."
Because you
Just
wanted
because I
that.
go,
Oh my God, I love it. So would you go up with me?
yeah,
Would the
absolutely.
wife go up too?
Yeah.
For like a little, I'll take
Yeah.
you around the Central Florida tour. It's not as cool as Chopper 2.
Okay.
I'll go
Yeah.
I'll go twice as fast as Chopper 2,
Hey,
but
I definitely.
I can't beat. Okay,
Definitely.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you. Let's see here. The forces. Tiffany, are we watching a broken action? I think with the
Yeah.
80s ballad thing,
Yeah.
favorite band. It doesn't have to be in the 80s, just overall favorite band.
Big Pearl Jam guy.
Yeah, man.
Just went to Pearl Jam.
Yep.
At the beginning of their new tour that they just had at the Hard Rock.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
phenomenal. It was the
Yep.
second night,
Yep.
and it was amazing.
I'm a Dave Matthews guy.
Oh, you can't
Huge,
go wrong with Dave
huge.
Matthews.
But the Pearl Jam Dave Matthews connection
Yes.
were very overlappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this?
So Chris says new member of Wind Direction. So I sing sometimes on Coffee Talk, and my band name they have given me is Wind Direction. So maybe it's becoming a duet.
Maybe that would be interesting.
Baritone or tenor? Like where are you in the
I
vocal
think I'm
range?
baritone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to be a tenor, but I feel like I've more.
I like to stay down here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't get to there.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Have you been on the Megaship Icon yet?
No, no, I have
But
not.
Star's coming to Canaveral.
Yes, I want to. So my wife, she's really good friends with a lot of dancers who still work
Sure.
on
Yeah.
Royal
Yeah. Yeah.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
And one of her friends is actually the captain for Icon.
Oh, that's.
Yeah. So I'm like, can we go
Can
on?
we
Because
do?
they get
Oh,
discounts.
well, listen. Okay.
Yeah.
So a friend. So let me tell you a story. So last year I was sitting at Port Canaveral.
Yeah.
Super great places to eat right on the port.
Yeah.
Okay. Like great seafood, but you've got, like it was like 3 days after Utopia had launched. So I've got Utopia sitting there, Disney, all the other ones. And I text my friend Craig, he's the chief meteorologist for Royal.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, Craig, I'm sitting here and I'm wishing I was you right now, man. And he's like, if you want to cruise, I'll throw the friends and family discount your way. And I said, do not offer something, do not
Yeah.
write a check you can't cash.
Yes.
Next thing you know, I've got like a 7-day cruise on Wonder of the Seas booked and
Yeah.
paid half price
I
for
mean,
it.
you're like, really? You can get it for that
You've
much?
got all your friends. So do
Oh
they
yeah.
even these contract folks still get that deal?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We've got friends who do casting as well for Royal Caribbean. So yeah,
okay.
we reach out every once in a while, like,
You should. You should. Star, those longer trips.
yeah.
Because it's replacing because Wonder's going over to the Mediterranean, I think. See, I'm a little bit of a nerd.
No, that's good. That's good. It's funny though. A lot of people will always ask me, "Would you still go on a cruise?" Yeah, I would, but if it was a longer cruise,
Yeah.
I would probably want to go and do it myself.
Yep. Yep.
But I love cruising. I
Yeah.
mean, you can get everything
Yeah. Oh yeah.
on the cruise. So
The weekend Utopia is so perfect
yeah,
because it's a quick go,
yeah,
massive ship.
yeah,
You can get lost. You don't have to go to Nassau if you don't want to. You could just stay and enjoy, or you can go to Nassau and you can relive your childhood,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
What other questions you all have? David says 50s, 60s, 70s music for me, classic. Another?
Hey, yeah, that's good too.
Hey, listen.
Sometimes you're just in the car and you can be listening to the radio and then something from the 50s comes on.
Yeah,
You're like, wait a
yeah.
second.
Mr. Sandman.
Yeah,
I feel
let's
like
put the windows down. Let's crank it up.
I feel like you could pull off a little Moody Blues with your vocal range.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
Okay.
That's not 50s, but that's
Yeah,
60s,
I like the Moody Blues.
right? Knights in White Satin. I feel like you could pull off a little Knights in White Satin.
Yeah,
Sad to lose one of our beats. Yeah, yeah, a little bit of a nerd. All right, so are
yeah.
you a nerd about anything? What are you a nerd about? Like this group of people, there are hundreds of people, sub thousands,
Yeah,
but hundreds of people that even when the weather's quiet, talk about the weather for half an hour every day, which there's a
really.
nerd. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, that's great.
Now I get when this explodes during hurricanes and stuff, but when the weather's quiet and these people are here, are you a nerd about anything? It's
I,
okay to say no.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
How
okay.
would I mean, I like everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I invest myself into really everything.
Yep.
Um, Maybe a nerd about like hockey, if there's such a thing,
No,
like,
that's
or just a sports
yeah.
nerd,
No, that makes
just
sense.
sports in general.
Are
I
you
love every type
are
of
you going to back
Orlando Solar Bears.
the well I was literally going to say I was trying to find a clever way to say it
Yeah.
because I would imagine you're an Everblades guy.
So It's this is a very interesting
Yeah,
story
yeah,
as well. Okay, so when I first arrived
yeah,
in Fort Myers, you've got the Florida Everblades. They won the ECHL championship the 3 years that I was there,
yeah.
back to back to
Right,
back.
right.
This year they're playing the Orlando Solar Bears. People were like, "Who are you cheering for?" I was like, "The Solar Bears."
I mean, you kind
I've
so
got it.
I was at that wedding on Friday, and this creature shows up, and I'm like, "What the heck is that?" And somebody's like, "It's the Everblades mascot." I'm like, "Ah, I don't know." So that's a thing down there. All right.
Yeah.
So okay. All right. So solar bears. That's good.
Yep.
That's good. All
Yep.
right. UCF. You're gonna cheer for? I'm a UCF guy, so I have to ask. You're gonna cheer for UCF?
Of course I will. Of course
Okay.
I'll always cheer for a local team as long as they're not playing my team.
Yeah.
So my team, Tennessee Volunteers,
Okay.
kind of got sucked into it because my wife is from Knoxville.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, so I
Yep.
was like, well, I'm not gonna
Well, there's a UCF connection to that, of course.
Josh Heupel.
Josh Heupel
Yeah.
and Danny White.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah,
And since they've come to Knoxville, we've been good.
they've done some
Football has been
things.
great.
They've done some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've done some things. All right. Animal House, Revenge of the Nerds, or Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
So did you see yesterday?
I can't believe it. 2027.
What? What?
I know. Spaceballs is coming out with a sequel.
Is it going to be good or terrible? Even if it's terrible, it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good.
Just did you all see that the intro where he's like, "There's been 70 Star Wars movies, there's been TV shows about this,
And Oppenheimer.
and Oppenheimer,
Yeah. There's been two Dunes. Yeah.
and two dudes, right? And two dudes." And then he's like, "We listened to the audience and we decided to do it anyway," or whatever
Finally.
Mel said.
Finally.
Oh my
My
God.
old co-anchor and I in Fort Myers, we would always do Spaceballs quotes all the
Oh,
time.
thank you.
Like we do like the handshake, like put it here. And then she'd go shake my hand, I'm like, food you.
Yeah. Oh my.
Can't believe you fell for it.
No, when I saw that, my first thought was, you can't do it without Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
And then
And,
he announced he's coming out of retirement.
or I mean, John Candy,
Right. Well, yeah.
Barf
Right,
Holomutal.
right, right.
But there's what are you gonna do?
It's been 40 years
Yeah,
for God. I mean,
yeah,
Mel Brooks, the fact that Mel Brooks is still, and the way he announced it, it's like, boy, Mel is like 100 years old and
yeah,
is still Mel Brooks.
yeah. He's
What?
gonna be in it.
How,
He's got to be.
how does he have that energy? I am 41 and I don't have that energy.
I mean, it's Mel Brooks,
It's
right?
Mel
Right.
Brooks.
He's gonna come back as what was he?
It was, he was the
Yogurt.
yogurt.
Yogurt. That's right.
Thank you.
I thought it was yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Can't wait.
All right, so who left the anchor desk? So Sheldon left a while ago to
Yeah.
take a job outside of television. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're just kind of putting Alan
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, Sheldon and I, funny story about that. So when I started in
Yeah.
Charleston, South Carolina, he was the morning reporter there, and
Shut
he
up.
left to go to
No.
Baltimore, and
No.
I replaced him there.
No.
And then all of a sudden, now he left here, and I'm replacing him here. It's just a small world. It's funny how it
No.
just continuously turns, right?
You want to hear a funny Sheldon story?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So he gets hired here,
Yeah.
and I Sheldon, it's really great to meet you. And he says we've met before, and immediately you're like, ah, crap.
Yeah.
He and I interned together across the street here in Orlando.
Okay.
I think I was a staff member at that point, but I was working, but we were two young people.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "You told me something in that moment that I'll never forget." And he spouts this word of wisdom. And in my mind, I'm like, I was 21 and pulled that out of my tuchus. What? I love Sheldon. Just so great.
Oh.
Tanya says, "Who's that in the background?" That's just Scott. He's our idiot director. Idiot, I knew the answer.
That's
Idiot,
true.
I knew the answer. Well, you're an idiot about most things.
Has Alan seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Of course.
They beat me up because I haven't seen it.
Really?
I know I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is, okay?
My gosh, it's so funny.
I-
One of my favorite scenes from that. I mean, there's so many, but Bill Murray's at the bar and
Yeah.
he's taking a drink and
Right.
he finishes it and he says to the bartender, "Can I get another one of these with some booze in it, please?"
Ah!
He's so good in that movie.
Love that. All right, any other questions? What else should we know about you? If we're going to be waking up with you, what do we
Yeah.
need to know?
I'm a guy who is very energetic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you how it is straight. I'm
Yep.
gonna read you the news every morning, but I'm also gonna make you think a little bit. I'm gonna put a smile on your face. And next week and probably the week after, it's gonna be a learning process because it's like I'm going into a
Yeah.
new school. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous. But just, I'm just gonna be a guy who's always there for you and somebody you can rely on in the mornings to make sure that you are getting the facts, the information, the news, and how you can plan your day.
I love that. I will tell you, our tosses,
Yeah.
Depending on where, say, I have to gauge where
Okay.
you're at
Okay.
because the folks, the anchors that are a little more surface
Hmm.
with tosses, I can glaze over. But if you've got some depth to you, I'm gonna give you a run for your money on them.
Okay.
Okay, I just
All
want you
right.
to know that now.
Let's try it. Let's
Okay.
try for sure. Oh, someone asked if I watch Seinfeld. I do.
Okay.
You know what though? I haven't seen a complete season yet, or The Office.
You either fix this
I know. I
or
know.
we cannot have a
I know.
bromance. I
Give
just
me
need you to
give me
know.
a timeline.
Depend. You got 6 months.
Six
You've
months?
got six
Okay.
months.
To get through both or
Both.
Seinfeld?
I'm not taking. You're in the big leagues.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Sorry.
right.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
It can be both.
Yeah,
It can be
yeah.
both,
It can be.
Cindy.
That's a tough one.
Don's asking, you prefer college football or NFL?
College football, Tennessee, NFL, Miami,
Which do you prefer?
college.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
although NIL is kind of
I mean, minor league versus major at this point.
yeah, yeah, the NIL is kind of messing up a little bit of college stuff for me.
Yeah,
But
it's a
it is
disaster.
what it is, you
It's
know
a
what I mean?
disaster. Well, may your time at WESH be long, fruitful, and fulfilling. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much,
Thank you,
Chris.
Chris.
I appreciate
What
that.
other questions do you have? What other rapid? Scott, do you have anything that we should cover?
I'm just an idiot. I don't know.
He's just an idiot. I don't. The ghost woman says, "I love The Office." Yeah, we're gonna have to get you on Seinfeld and The Office. That's.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it's a requirement, but this isn't happening.
I know. I'm so sorry.
All right, MLB. Are you a baseball guy?
I am big
Okay.
time. Um,
He's got a mullet as we spin. No, I'm just kidding.
I did have a mullet
Did you?
before, yeah.
Excellent.
Not before I got
Yeah,
here, but
right.
like when I was younger, when I played hockey.
Yeah.
Major leagues, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. So Toronto, because
Sure.
I'm from Toronto.
Obviously.
I like the Dodgers.
Yep.
I like the Rays.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want to see an MLB team come here to Orlando.
You think it's the Rays? Or you think it's something else?
I think it should be something else because think about that rivalry,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
That would be incredible. It would be like,
I know.
you know, the Yankees Mets because of the
Yeah,
proximity,
yeah.
but like you could really build up a good
Right.
rivalry.
Right.
And yeah, you know,
Subway series, call it the I-4.
I-4
I-4
series?
series. Oh
we might be
man.
onto something.
Dude, that would be great. That would be great. Tiffany says you quote. So I quote more Star Trek, but I love both.
Yeah.
It's just that Star Trek has more quotable lines. They know if they want to derail me, they just start a Star Trek line and I will instantly go right off the track.
Well, you know, William Shatner,
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I picked Star Trek.
Okay, that's
right?
valid. Also, listen, Star Trek, I don't know. I would say I love Star Wars, but Star Trek has the science part of it,
Yeah.
the more societal part, the more
Yeah.
honor part of it. It's different.
You know, someone asked if I'm a Tragically Hip fan. That was Carolyn Wilson.
What is what's
That's
Tragically Hip?
okay. That's a uniquely Canadian band. You know what Tragically Hip is, right? Phenomenal band. They rarely dipped into the United States. They
Okay.
would just travel through Canada. And
So
do
why is it a surprise that I don't know them?
Hey, listen.
Scott.
Okay, you might have me.
That idiot thing a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, listen. You have me on Seinfeld in
Yep.
The Office.
Okay,
I've got you on
okay.
the Tragically Hip.
Easy. I
Yeah.
can fix that.
Yeah.
I can fix that. I can fix that. All right, let's see here. Tiffany says it's like being a fly on the wall. That's what's fun about it,
I
right?
know. I love this.
All right.
How
Okay.
long do we get to go?
As
Like,
long as we want.
oh, this is
How much?
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So you said Star Trek. So, what's your favorite movie? I'm going to judge you based on this.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because if you
Okay.
say the motion picture, you're leaving right now.
Okay. So I've got several favorites.
Go ahead. You're gonna have to justify it.
Okay. So first one, The Hangover.
Interesting.
Just because I can connect a little bit.
Which character can you connect with?
Yes.
Bradley Cooper's
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
That's what everyone always says. So I like that. I'm a big, big, big time. You ready for this?
Please let it out.
Okay. Matthew. Okay.
If you
So-
say Broderick or Perry,
Okay, Matthew Perry. I'm a big Matthew Perry guy, okay?
Yep.
Do you remember when he did I just lost the name of it, but he was like a private investigator and he was with Elizabeth Hurley. I just lost the
help, help,
Yeah.
help.
So it was Matthew Perry and Elizabeth Hurley, and Matthew Perry was like a private investigator. It's a comedy.
help, brain track. There's like a 7-second delay, so in
Yeah.
about 7 seconds they'll help.
I can't believe I just went blank. Big Back to the Future guy.
Thank you.
But okay, What's your favorite?
What's my favorite Back to the
Yeah.
Future? I feel like 2.
2, 1, 3.
2, 1, 3.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
know.
3's fine.
3's okay.
One sets the stage,
Yeah.
but I like dark.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so 2 being dark. It's like of the original Star Wars movies. I love Empire Strikes Back because you are not left with a good feeling.
That's true. You're not.
You are left feeling
Yeah.
awful.
Gosh, I can't remember what the name of that was.
I don't know. It's not the whole 9 yards, right?
Was
No,
it?
no, no,
I can't remember, but
no.
I'm sorry. I'll get
Debbie
back
says
to
we
you.
don't judge on coffee talk. The whole 9 yards and the whole 10 yards were phenomenal. Maybe was?
I think it was the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so I just threw
Okay.
that out on
Okay.
purpose. Look
Good.
at that.
Ooh.
Okay. He plays a dentist.
Oh, it's a dentist.
Dentist. Okay,
Oh.
got it. Interesting.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I love that. Okay. Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter? I'm a Harry Potter guy.
I've never seen any of them.
Really?
I watched one Lord of the Rings in the theater, fell asleep.
I watched the first one.
Yeah, but I've never seen any of the Harry Potters.
Yeah.
Disney, Universal, or SeaWorld? Tim, have you had a chance to sample them?
So I've done Universal and Disney. I haven't done SeaWorld yet, but it was funny because I saw a commercial the other day on
Yeah.
TV and I was like, that's a sign. I need to go to SeaWorld.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I love.
You know, pro tip for SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope. Sorry, Debbie. So I hope that this is not about. So I feel like SeaWorld does a really good job of keeping the gate very affordable
Yeah.
because they want you to drink in the park.
Right.
So usually during the holidays, if you wait until the holidays, they've got these super deals on annual passes.
Yeah.
And what you do is you get one that includes parking for you,
Mhm.
and then one that doesn't include parking for like the wife, or vice versa.
Oh,
That
okay.
way, because you don't need to pay
Yeah.
for parking, right?
Oh.
So you do it that way.
Oh, okay. That's a great little tip.
Pro
Thank
tip.
you.
You can do that for Disney too, but they have so many blackout days,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
You know, I'm a big beach guy.
Yep.
I know we're what, 45 minutes
Yeah.
away from the beach?
Totally easy to do.
Yeah. Super easy.
Yeah.
Places to surf?
Yep.
New Smyrna?
New Smyrna, Brevard.
Brevard?
Yeah.
Sebastian Inlet?
Yeah. So Dave
Okay.
Cocciarella
Mhm.
upstairs. He's so I grew up watching Dave. He's a former TV meteorologist.
Mhm.
Still teaches meteorology in the university system. Surfer. Grew up here. So I need to put you two together. He'll give you
Oh,
the spots. If you're a surfer, I'll put you
perfect.
guys together.
I'm a learner. Like very
Okay.
beginner.
That's okay. You and Dave will connect. Eric, shame on you, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, you must watch. I know. Now I'm getting all the. They're just destroying me now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, any horror movie.
Yeah, there you go. What you got?
Conjuring.
Never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like super obsessed with it. There's
Yeah.
a new one coming out. I
Okay.
can't wait. Usually I have to watch them by myself because my wife's a little
Oh, not
afraid.
in it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen them all. I love them.
David says Vero Beach.
Oh, Vero Beach, yeah.
Vero's, it's an hour and a half drive.
Okay.
Or it's a 35, 40-minute flight in
Oh,
an airplane.
okay.
Go down. I love Vero for food at the
Yeah.
airport.
Oh, nice.
Favorite
Good.
beach, highly suggest Treasure Island, St. Pete. That's where my brother Frank lives. But you're from the West Coast for
Yeah.
the last couple of years, so you've
Yep.
explored the Gulf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's see here. What else could we? What other pieces of wisdom could we give? Wekiva Island. Okay, well, you're gonna take near Lake Mary where you
Okay.
visited. You got
Yep.
Wekiva Springs area.
Yes.
There's a place called Wekiva Island. You can canoe and kayak, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is like a little piece of paradise.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I can't wait. That's what I'm really excited about. So many people say, there's all these small little
Yes.
pieces that are around this area in Central Florida. You have to check out.
Yep,
Of course, the
it's true.
springs. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, let's see here. Tell them about drinking with Campeche. Oh, every time I say the Bay of Campeche,
Yeah.
it's a drinking game, but it's with coffee, and whatever you put in your
Oh,
coffee is
okay.
it's not to be judged. Let's see here. Denise says, I've been surfing since I was 14. Cocoa Beach, always. Too many sharks at New Smyrna. So New
Oh.
Smyrna,
Yeah.
shark bite capital of the world.
Yes.
Why? Do you know why?
Is it the water?
It's because it's just a little murkier right
Yeah.
there because of the jetty.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the jetty and the wind direction.
I'm terrified of sharks too.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So I flew the airplane for dinner up to Jekyll Island. You know
Oh,
Jekyll?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So flew it up to Jekyll Island for dinner. Went up like 4 o'clock. Sitting, I parked the airplane, take a little golf cart to the beach. This is a true story. This happened last week while I was on vacation.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm in the water in Jekyll, just kind of waiting, and all of a sudden the fish start jumping, and I'm like, I know what that is. As soon as I say out loud, that's a shark, I see a bull shark probably 5 feet away
Oh
from
my
me.
goodness.
And you've never seen a 41-year-old dude run faster. Like I became walking on water. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shelley, the Winter Park Scenic Boat Tour. When's your wife up next?
2 weeks.
Okay, so
Yeah.
listen, whenever that is, you have to take her on the Winter Park Scenic Boat Tour. You
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
It is because Winter Park is the chain of lakes. You have to.
Yeah.
It is romantic and not. It's just it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's an hour of well spent time.
I love that.
It's
I
an
love
hour
that.
of well spent time. You learn about Rollins College, which is a private college in Winter Park.
Oh yeah.
You learn about how like Mr. Rogers was here. There's a lot.
Wow.
You need to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
What else? What else?
Jane says she loves that boat tour.
Oh my God. It is.
Okay.
And so Mark Walker, one of our friends together, is one of the guys that kind of helps run it too. So
Oh,
it's just,
really?
yeah, it's
Oh
small.
my goodness.
It's small. And Mark has not texted me back.
He
So
must be out at
he's
sea or something.
doing something.
Yeah.
So Chris Pierce highly suggest the scenic boat tour. Lake County is called the Hidden Gem. So much beauty. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, Mickey's asking if you're an adrenaline junkie.
A little bit.
So what's your venue for that then? Skydiver?
I want to. I haven't yet. You know.
Tons of places here for that.
Yeah. And you know, every time I want to do it, it seems like something always happens like the week before, and then I'm like, well, I'll put it off for another
Yeah,
6 months.
yeah.
But I definitely want to do that. That's on the bucket list. I want to climb. I don't want to climb Mount Everest, but
Yeah.
I want to climb like Kilimanjaro,
Sure,
something
why
like
not?
that. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Anything that is close to danger,
Yep.
I like to push the limits
I
a
get
little
it.
bit.
I
you
like
know?
it. So you can like DeLand has skydiving,
Okay.
but I think Titusville has skydiving, but higher.
Okay.
Because if you're going to do it,
Right.
go as high as you can.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Titusville goes up to like 18,000 feet.
18,000.
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
right up to the floor of the Class Alpha airspace, which you can't go unless you have an instrument flight plan.
Oh,
So
wow.
let's see. Anyway, Lake Ridge Winery in Lake County.
Okay.
There's a winery.
Yeah.
It's connected to San Sebastian Winery up in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Which St. Augustine's a great day trip.
Amazing.
Great
Yes.
day trip.
Yes.
And it's a lot closer to you now.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's you can do it as a day trip. Terry, come up to Rainbow Springs, ride a tuber kayak down this lovely spring-fed river. So Rainbow Springs, I've never been. That's up in Marion County.
Yeah.
We were in the helicopter, I don't know, a month ago,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, what in the heck am I looking at? It looks like a paradise. And I looked on the map, and it's like, that's the Rainbow River.
Really?
Got to add Rainbow Springs.
Okay.
Crystal River, glass bottom boats.
Right.
Golly, so many fun things. Titusville is over
Oh, being from Canada, do you ski? Actually, I used to. I snowboard. Yeah.
Not here, you don't.
No, not here.
Although
did it snow?
well, they sent. Well, I was on your show. You tossed to me
you were
last
doing
year.
Snow Angel.
Yeah,
yeah.
You tossed to me because I was on in Fort Myers. Stephanie calls me. So I flew. This was President's Day or something. I flew my airplane with the family,
Yeah.
landed. Ebony, our assistant news director, is like, Burris, call me when you can. So I call and she's like, we're going to send you to Tallahassee for the snow. I'm like, I don't have clothing.
Yeah.
So I went and I picked up anything I could.
Yeah.
I ended up with hypothermia.
Did you really?
Because I was outside from 4 a.m. to like 10 a.m. doing live shot.
Oh yeah.
And this Florida, and I used to weigh 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So I am still getting used to my body being a twiggy little thing.
Yeah.
So it's like it gets cold quicker, you know? Yeah. That's done, Ellen. Apologize. Yes. You must go. Rainbow River is awesome. Just seeing it from the air was unbelievable, right?
Mhm.
Silver Springs glass bottom boats. Yes.
So many incredible things to do.
You have to go to the Kennedy Space Center. They've got the visitor complex there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, look, we're going to do launch coverage.
Yeah.
For the bigger launches, I manipulate my way into covering with the weather lab.
Yeah.
Do the weather.
Yeah.
Really just to stand there and watch the rocket and get paid for it. But
That would be awesome.
yeah. So, but to go see the Kennedy Space Center visitor complex, you can see they have one of the shuttles there and you can see all the facilities. And then once you do that, I will connect with a friend who's over there and we'll take you on the off-stage tour just to give you that basis so you can see
Oh, I
some of
would
the
love that.
historic stuff that's not on the tour.
Oh, I would
Like,
love that.
yeah.
That is definitely on the bucket list too.
We need to do that. Kelly says, but you did make a snow angel, or at least attempted. The problem is it had already turned to ice, so when I flopped my butt down there,
Yeah.
it was like on a rock.
Oh yeah. You're like, oh, this is not a good
that
idea.
was not a fun thing.
Yeah.
Telling you, it took me days to warm up after that.
So listen, it's Friday.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
Got a good weekend ahead?
Oh, yeah. Let
Yeah.
me see.
What's the weekend forecast?
Do I have? There's
There it is.
There's a 7-day forecast.
Okay.
50-50 shot. It's Father's Day weekend. Dads, you're going to enjoy a couple of afternoon storms. You'll be fine. Other than that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be disgusting hot.
Ah,
It's going to be lower storm coverage, disgusting hot. I'm off work next week for the most part.
okay.
So I'm thinking I'm going to take the kids to the water parks,
Nice.
something like that,
Okay.
because lower rain coverage, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to be good. You said it, and now they won't let you go. Oh, Tiffany, listen. When Artemis 2 comes around, I met the astronauts for Artemis 2.
Really?
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So covering the launches, I've met some of the astronauts and they're always amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those things you try and not, because when they're wearing their blue jumpsuits, they're an astronaut. So anyway, I go to Houston for the Artemis 2 crew naming.
Right.
Okay. And they announce the astronauts. I'm like, I feel like I know Victor Glover.
Yeah.
So when we kind of have like this little more one-on-one thing, he and I are chatting, we do our thing, and he's looking at me and he's like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And I said, first off, cool. Second
Yeah,
off,
yeah, right.
I feel the same way. Turns out he was at one of the launches, but he was not in a jumpsuit. So I shot the breeze with this dude for like a half an hour. Had no idea he
You're
was an
like,
astronaut.
"That's-"
We just talked nerdy. I thought he was an engineer.
Yeah.
Because it was
He was
it's
an
evident
astronaut.
he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
He knows
So
what he's talking about.
if I'm not out there for Artemis 2, I will quit my job. I won't really do that, but golly, I'll try.
But it's out there now.
It's out there now.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth. So anyway, all right. Any other questions, people? Do we have anything else? Stacy and Gary, I'm over the rain. Yeah, they're asking about the coastal forecast. Let me just dial that
Yeah.
up fast.
Yeah,
We
bring
got
that
got
up.
it. Got to get you covered there as well. All right, here's your coastal 7-day forecast. So yeah, I think rain chances for the coast are going to peak up a little bit Sunday, Monday, just given the wind shift. Right now, the storms want to pull away from the East Coast and move inland. But Sunday, Monday, they kind of move back to the coast. But notice, even next week, your rain coverage drops and your temperature's gone. I mean, 93 at the beach on Wednesday.
Mm,
On our coastal communities, right on the beach sand, it won't be 93. But
Right.
you get the idea. It'll still be toasty.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
All right. Tanya, no quitting. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I know.
no
I
quitting.
still have children. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else for Alan? Anything else? Does Alan know you were on a ride with the Blue Angel?
You went up with the Blue Angels?
I did.
Did you pass out?
No.
No way.
Totally.
Really?
Totally. Okay. You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get an opportunity to ride with the Blue Angels. It's at the airport that I have my airplane at.
Yeah.
So it's like I know this place.
Yeah.
So I'm there. My only two goals were don't pass out and don't barf.
Yeah.
So I've got all the video, but so we get in the airplane and we're sitting holding for a while, and the pilot and I are just talking. We establish I'm an aviator, certainly I don't fly a Super Hornet.
Yeah.
So he's like, "So what do you want to do?" He's like, "Do you want to take a joyride?" And I'm like, dude, I was in a Cessna yesterday. I'll be
Yeah.
in a Cessna tomorrow. I want you to beat the crap out of me. And so he's like, "Okay, how much?" And I said, "I want everything you can give me."
Oh my
So
goodness.
take off. He's like, "All right, so we're going to do an unrestricted climb. So ground
Straight.
to 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So
In seconds.
in seconds. And so Chopper 2 is there. So they're over next to the airport. So they've got footage of the climb.
Oh my
I've got like ground footage from the family there. We pulled 7.5 Gs just on the climb, which is the max for the Super Hornet.
Yeah.
And you know what's so interesting? If you're an adrenaline junkie, you know Gs are great.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't the 7.5 Gs that was as hard, because it was a very brief, it was that climb, but once you establish the climb, you're fine. It was the carrier landing, because it was a solid 6 for like 45 seconds.
45.
Because it was, we come in and we're doing like 230 knots over the runway.
Right.
And then he breaks left, 6 Gs. And it's this long 6 Gs to come back around to land. That I almost went. That
Wow.
tunnel vision, I just remember processing in my brain. I was like, keep breathing, you'll die. Keep breathing, you'll die. Because it went tunnel.
Really?
It was the only time in my life I've ever experienced that.
Oh my
I
goodness.
thought I passed out.
Yeah.
And he said he could hear my breathing and could tell that I didn't.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I guess when you pass out, your breathing
You're
changes.
just like.
Because I was sitting there trying to do the hip maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think those pilots do that all the time.
Dude,
Like,
well,
it's nothing.
I get out of the airplane. I look like somebody just beat the snot out of me. And he's as handsome as ever. He's got his hair is perfect. I'm like, you just literally beat me up.
Oh my goodness.
I'll have to show you the video sometime. It's just ridiculous. One of our Coffee Talk viewers is a professional photographer and does a lot of aviation. So
Oh really?
when I had talked about it, he he didn't tell me any of this. Matt got a spot, and so he's got pictures of me in that climb in the Super Hornet, where you
Oh
can
my
see my
goodness.
Jay Leno chin
Yeah.
in the back, and then he got another one where it's like Chopper 2 and the Super Hornet. I
Wow,
mean,
that is
yeah,
cool.
it's cool
That's
as
a
heck.
cool
Yeah, yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to
So
see that sometime.
it was cool. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Anything else? You got anything else, people? Huge Strange Brew fan. He should say, "That's your news. Now take you hoser." Is that Oliver?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like a Canadian thing.
Okay, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Just so everyone knows. So I did become a dual citizen last
Oh,
March.
that's
Yeah.
awesome!
Yeah. Yeah,
Congratulations! Oh,
thank
that's
you.
very fun.
It was an interesting process because they give you like 100 questions you have to pretty much memorize, and then
Yep.
they ask you a total of 10, but you have to answer 6 correct. So I went 6 for 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then there was like a ceremony.
So it was kind of like at the end of COVID. So
Okay.
my wife, she got all dressed up, wanted to
Oh,
come
that's so
inside, but
sweet.
they were like, "Sorry, you have to stay out here."
Oh
So I went inside, and
man.
it was, quite a few of us, standing 6 feet apart, but it was a really special experience, and
Yeah.
and I'll have to show. I'm a big guy who's got like, I like to design my own suits, so on the
Okay.
inside I've got a whole bunch of different
Oh,
things. So
cool.
this is kind of, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of like almost like a floral
Yeah, yeah,
design.
yeah, yeah.
So for that, I got a suit made with American flags on the inside.
Is this Indochino?
This is, yeah. Look
That's
at you.
what I've got. That's what I've got too.
Yeah. So do you,
Yeah.
you design your own suit?
All of them.
It's awesome,
All of
right?
them.
So it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity.
And honestly, I feel like it's cheaper than buying something off the rack
Yeah.
because when you get them tailored the way that they
Yeah.
need to be, it's
It's
yeah.
perfect.
Anyway,
Yeah.
good times.
Great.
All right. That's all we got, people. Thanks for hanging out. All right,
Yeah.
so there's one thing we do at
Okay.
the end of when we do coffee talk with a guest. So we have the guest do the forecast.
Nice.
So I've already done it, but you're up. Here, let
Okay.
me I'll load the inland 7-day because
The
that's
inland 7-day.
okay.
All right, I'll
So
try and
you have
memorize
to
everything
try
you
it.
just said.
Just
All
go-
right,
just go
here's your
for it.
7-day forecast. This is inland. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, chances of rain, 50% right now. You're going to reach a high of 92 today. On Saturday, you're going to reach a high of 92 as well. Probably a low around 72 degrees. Quite typical for this time of year. But beginning next Monday for the start of the work week, yeah, we're going to be seeing some showers in the forecast. Then lightning on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So just be prepared. Probably a good idea to grab your umbrella in the morning
Yeah.
and that rain jacket.
Look at this
Was
guy.
that okay?
You did great.
Did I pass? Okay.
All right, so then the sign off.
Yeah.
Okay. Be the sunshine in someone else's day.
Be the
That
sunshine in someone else's day. I love that.
be the sunshine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you all for hanging out for coffee talk. Have a great Friday. Alan, Monday morning.
See you at 4:30, dark and early. Take care. Thanks,
Bye.
Eric. I